I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to start on with, I don't know if you heard Noel Gallagher. He was in the studio on Tuesday. He was unbelievable. He was just fantastic value, and we were very lucky to have him for the whole 3 hours. He was talking about Harry Kane. Have a listen to this and I'll get your views. He was saying that Harry Kane could play in Man City's midfield.
He's a brilliant player, and if he hadn't have gone to Bayern Munich, I'd be like, although this might sound mad, he's a ready-made replacement for KDB. If you've got Haaland up front, if you can play Kane in that role, he's got it all, Harry Kane. He's got it all. He can do anything.
Was that you laughing?
It might be me gasping.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Listen, he has got it all, Harry Kane.
He has,
right?
yeah.
Are you surprised, firstly, just how much he's tearing it up in Germany?
Not one bit. You always felt with Harry that he was... Don't get me wrong, he had good teams around him at Tottenham over the years, but you always felt that once you kind of got world-class talent around him and a proper structure and a club that is aligned in ways that Bayern Munich always are, that he's always going to hit the ground running, Harry. If you look at him, his emotions are never too high and they're never too low, and it's what makes him so great. In my opinion, he has arguably the lowest point of his footballing career, missing that penalty against France. Comes back to England, scores 30 goals in the Premier League. Nothing really changes with him. So I'm not surprised at all that he's out there. When you see, I didn't want to see him go, obviously, but when you look at him in a Bayern Munich shirt, it makes sense, don't it? When you look at him, you kind of go, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
He needs to be winning titles, doesn't he?
He does, and it will happen for him. He's too good a player for it not to happen.
Yeah. Were you surprised that he chose Bayern Munich? Were you surprised that he didn't let that year of his contract left?
Yeah, I was.
Down?
Yeah, I was at the time because it just didn't make sense to me to be leaving, with a year left. But I think that was with my players' head on, and also, relationships are completely different with regard to certain players and clubs. If it was me and I was Harry and I would have missed out on the opportunity to go to Manchester City, which was kind of reported, I would have been like, there's no way you're getting £100 million for me. I'm going for free and I'm going to go where I want to go. Harry had a different opinion. Maybe his opinion was, I want to do right by the club. I want you to earn some money for me and allow me to go and play Champions League football and be great in Europe.
Well, then going back to what Noel was saying about he could see him maybe taking over that Kevin De Bruyne role. Listen, Harry Kane, he's such a wonderful player and totally different to Haaland.
Yeah.
In as much they both, of course, score goals for fun. But Harry Kane drops back deeper. I think he's more of a team player. He'll collect the ball in front of his defence, maybe in the middle of the park, and then make moves off the ball and then run with it and bring in other people. Haaland does less of that.
Yeah.
So if there is a day in the next maybe year, 18 months, where Haaland does, where Kevin De Bruyne does, for whatever reason, leave Manchester City, can you see Harry Kane either going there? Do you think there's still time for him to go there? And if not, irrelevant of that, do you see Harry Kane playing that deeper role throughout the rest of his career, do you think?
Not from the start, no. And what I mean by from the start, I don't see him setting up in a midfield position at all. I think that if you see how Alvarez plays for Manchester City now, he could facilitate that kind of role, no doubt. But it is very different because if you watched Harry, and I get why Noel's saying what he's saying, but if you watch Harry when he was at Spurs, playing under Mourinho and playing under Conte, they played very deep as a team, and so they used to suck teams onto them. Harry would drop into this little pocket of space, which, by the way, when he was a kid and he used to come and train with us, is how he used to play. Everyone thought he was going to be like Teddy Sheringham. And then Maurizio turned him into more of an athlete and he was running behind.
What sort of age was that he was playing as a kid when you were at Spurs, right?
Yeah, when I was at Tottenham and he was probably 16, 17, coming through the ranks with the likes of Andros Townsend and, Danny Rose was a part of that kind of youth setup, Jake Livermore and so on.
And did you see it? So whenever I've spoken to Benty about certain players, the one that springs to mind is Wayne Rooney. He said when he was 16, he saw him at, what was it, Liverpool? What's the English? Lilleshall, sorry. He said that everyone knew he was going to be an absolute superstar. Okay.
Was he at Lilleshall? Wayne? Wazza wouldn't have been there. It was closed down by then.
Oh, well, when Benty saw him
I know what you mean. Playing for England. Yeah.
And there was just no doubt he was going to be a superstar. He was just
100%. Yeah.
But did you get that with Harry Kane when he was? You didn't.
No, and it's a weird one because this is part of Harry's brilliance because he is he's diligent. He works harder than the next, and he is driven by everybody that's told him he's not good enough. Essentially, and I think that's what he had for the early parts of his career. And then you every now and again you would see that he's working harder. He's working on his finishing. He'd be spending time speaking to like Robbie Keane and Defoe and getting information, and then putting it into practice and you thought, right, he's got the makeup to do what he needs to do. But if anything, just from an athletic point of view, he wasn't as quick as he needed to be. He wasn't as strong or sharp as he needed to be. He just had a hunger to score goals. And then the rest was all put together, I think, by Tim Sherwood, to be fair. Played a massive part in his early development. And then Maurizio kind of probably took that onto another level. Yeah.
Is he world class?
He's 100% world class, yeah.
Is he the best number 9 in world football at the moment?
Best number 9 in world football at the moment. I mean, who's he up against? Lewandowski? That's about it, isn't it, really? I don't see anybody...
plays more out wide.
Yeah, and Mbappe's a better player than Harry Kane, but, the number 9 role is a very specific role, isn't it? And I think that Harry Kane you look at him and he's like the last of a dying breed.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
He is. But, I mean, just to quickly answer the question with regards to Noel, what he said, wherever Harry goes, he's going to be the main man. And he supplied goals at Spurs because he had to, because he was playing very deep. And he had players like Son and Kulusevski, make him run. So he's able to find those passes because that's what he did. And he, like I said, about when he was young. But if he goes to City, he's going there to be the main man and score goals. And he'll have somebody providing him with the chances. He's doing a bit of it at Bayern Munich now. He's got a great relationship with Leroy Sané. But if you look at the majority of his goals at Bayern Munich now, tap in. 6-yard box, penalty spot, header, in the box. You're not seeing the typical Harry Kane 25-yarder because he's got great players around him providing him goals.
Yeah. If you could only have one, Haaland or Kane, right now, who are you choosing?
That's hard, man, because in what team? In
your team. Okay, let's say Man City's team.
If it was in City's team, I would probably have took Kane at that particular time when that junction was there, yeah. Okay.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.